The title of this video is going to be called Working with People and Working with Contracts. If you don't know me, my name is Max. I own Glacier NYC. We are a headshot photography business located in New York City. We specialize in actors' headshots. During the day, I work full-time in construction management. So I manage a variety of different contracts of subcontractors. So I have a good amount of experience working with project managers of subcontractors who we have a contract with. At the same time, in the photography space, I work with all of my clients through a contract. So before I work with any of my clients, or before I really start working and putting effort into each client, the client signs our studio agreement and model release form. Now, I want to talk about working with people and working with contracts. In the construction industry, it is almost frowned upon or negative thing to bring up the contract, especially in the position of us being the client and them working for us. When they work for us and we say, oh, it's in your contract, we're basically saying, like, you owe me this thing. You have to do this thing for me. It says right here in the contract. It's kind of demanding. It's kind of it's almost like disrespecting the relationship with the person and saying, like, do it by the book, blah blah blah. So the idea is you want to have a contract to be able to fall back on if anything happens. And you do want to stick to the contract, right? You're not going to provide something that you did not agree to. The idea is you agree with the person beforehand on the contract, all the terms, all the what ifs, all the bad what ifs should be in your contract, and you should agree on the bad what ifs. If they get sick on the day of the photo shoot, if the client gets into a car accident the week before the shoot, if the client hates the images at the end, if the client trips and gets paint all over their face on the way to the shoot. There's way more things that could go wrong, right? But these are just a few. These things should be in your contract. No one wants these things to happen. And these things happen when you least want them to happen, right? They happen sometimes, maybe rarely, but they happen. So put the things in the contract that you don't want to happen, but if they happen, you need to have a solution. You need to agree on a solution with the client. So put these in your contract. Make sure the client knows. Make sure they read it. Make sure they agree upon it. The contract should be a living document, right? If the client's not happy with how something's worded, me as the service, I'm open to working with them to get to an agreement that we're both comfortable with. It's called an agreement because both parties agree on it, right? And once that agreement is signed, I like to work with people as if there's no contract at all. If there's nothing written, but we're just building a relationship, I'm giving them the best service that I can give. They're getting the service from me, and that's it. Contract should be only really brought up if and when necessary. This is my take on it so far. It's there for a reason. It's not there to be used as a rule book, really. It's not there to hold over people's heads if you don't have to. It's there if you need it. If both people agree, both people are fine with what it says, then you should not have to reference it. You should not really need to bring it up. You can even offer favors to your clients. You don't have to, let's say you have like a refund policy, a weather policy, a rescheduling fee policy. You can always waive the fees. You can always change things as long as people are in agreement, and people appreciate when you do favors for them. So keep that in mind. You don't always have to play by the rules if you're giving something extra, or you're removing a hindrance from them. Let me put it this way. People won't hold it against you if you give them things extra, but people will hold it against you if you do things. Let me say it a different way. If you do additional things that are not in the contract, or if you provide extra service than what is promised in the contract, no one will fault you for that, right? However, if you do not meet the promises of the contract, you do not meet the expectations, or you do not meet the terms that you agreed upon, then they will fault you for that, right? So it's very interesting. In both cases, you might not be following the contract, but the reaction will be completely opposite one way versus another. Keep that in mind when thinking that, just because you signed this contract doesn't mean that you have to be so strict to it. You can provide more. You could provide less. You want to be providing at minimum what you agreed to, and then as a service-based business, you should always be wanting to provide more. So keep that in mind. I understand I'm not articulating this so incredibly, and this is something that I will continue to work on, building my contracts, working with them, learning what's a good thing to have in there, what's a bad thing to have in there. This is just the beginning for me, right? I just wanted to get my thoughts out there for now. Prioritize the relationships. Thanks.